everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Amanda the author. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm an author and on my channel I talk all things writing and marketing. I do writing tips, I do marketing tips. I also do a little something called a writer's review where I look at fantasy and horror, movies, books, and TV shows from a writer's perspective. If you write anything of any kind, this channel is for you, so go ahead and subscribe. Now today, I'm taking a little bit of a departure from all of that just to catch up a little bit with you on NaNoWriMo. National Novel Writing Month kicked off the beginning of November, and for those of you who are unaware, it's a time of the year where writers all around the country, if not around the world, try to write 50,000 words in 1 month. And that roughly translates to about 16,000 words per day if you write every day, which is the goal. And the idea is that you should be able to finish the first draft, or at least most of the first draft of your novel. Now, I did NaNoWriMo about 5 years ago, back in 2017, and I finished it. I won Nano, as they say, and it was really difficult. I ended up writing everything in 28 days, because I took 2 days off. And I'm a glutton for punishment, and I've been attempting it every year, and this year was finally the year that I decided I'm gonna win again. It is the 18th, the day that I'm filming this, and Nano is nanoing. It is going. There have been some challenges, some good things and some bad, so I thought I'd take a break from some of the other content that I had planned just to pop in and give you, if you are doing Nano, if you're thinking about doing Nano, or if you're thinking about doing any kind of write every day for a certain amount of time challenge, give you a couple tips and tricks on how you can survive. So we have just over 10 days left in the Nano sphere, if you will, and that means that writers all over are scrambling to try to finish their word counts. As for me, I am almost at 25K, which is almost to halfway through, and I have less than halfway through to finish that word count. My first tip for you is to be patient with yourself and give yourself some grace if you end up behind on your word count. There are a lot of other writers who are doing this, many of whom are still in the less than 20,000 word camp, and then there are many writers who have totally surpassed the 25,000-30,000 word camp already. Be patient with yourself and pace yourself as you're doing Nano or any other kind of writing challenge is important, because I've learned if I try to force myself to write, if I try to push past my discomfort, then the words end up being shit, or I feel like shit as I'm writing because I'm not in the moment. I'm thinking about what I didn't do, what I should be doing, all the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and you don't want to do that when you're trying to be creative. Tip number 2 is to make sure that you have some good snacks and drinks on hand so that you can really dig in and sit and write. I usually have seltzer water by hand. I have coffee if I'm writing in the morning. Some of my favorite snacks include croutons. Random, right? But croutons. Reese's Pieces. I really also love blueberries and some bananas, and also enjoy a good cucumber hummus moment as I'm writing. Make sure that you're staying hydrated and that you're eating as you're going, because you don't want to stop getting your words in because you get really, really hungry or you get really, really thirsty. My next tip for you is to have an outline. Now, I know all my pantsers out there, all y'all who write by the seat of your pants might disagree with me, but just hear me out before you turn this video off. I think it's very important to at least have some idea of where you're going, especially if you are doing a challenge where your goal is to focus on getting the words out and not the planning aspect of writing. So have at least a little bit of an outline, even if it's just some bullet points as to what's happening in the beginning, middle, and end of your novel, can help you so that each day you know what you're doing. You know what it is you're going to write. My next tip is use this time to market yourself. I've seen so many authors that are doing nano vlogging or TikToks every day to keep themselves accountable, but also to talk about their project. And I think using Nano as a framework for marketing your work at this time is really great. One of the things that I've been doing, especially on Twitter, is I've been noting my word count and then talking about some of the things that help me get through it. Or dropping my playlist, dropping character aesthetics, talking about a scene that I wrote and including a snippet. This is a great opportunity for you to start getting excitement early around your work. And especially if you're doing it on TikTok, where there are so many other authors that are doing nano vlogs, I think you'll find some success there. My next tip is get some buddies. If you don't have a writing community already, it is extremely important that you find one. I know that it can be difficult, especially in the day and age of now where we're all kind of confined behind our computers, but it's important to find other authors that you can vibe with as you're writing. For me, it's been instrumental in helping me overcome those days where I feel like, oh, I'm not super motivated to write, or maybe the day before I didn't write a lot. As an example, last week I had a day where I wrote 142 words, but the next day I got with some of my writing friends, we did a couple writing sprints, and I ended up writing over 4,000 words. So having some good writing friends in this time can be really beneficial to help hold you accountable, to have fun while you're writing, and also to help other people with their work, which will in turn inspire yours. My next tip is don't be afraid to take a day off. I know that this is supposed to be a thing where you're writing every day, but if you are somebody who doesn't normally write every day, or if you end up running into a bit of a wall where you're feeling like the words aren't wording, or you're, not liking what it is you're producing, it is okay to take a day off. You can meet your word count goal if you take a day off. If you take 2 days off, you'll be able to meet your word count goal, and you'll come back to what you're working on that much more refreshed and ready because you took time off. My next tip is tell people around you what it is you're doing. Let your family and friends know that you're doing NaNoWriMo because they can be there for you and be supportive, and also let them know so they don't bother you. No shade to family. I love my family. I'm super close with them. But during this time, I've had to say, hey, I'm doing NaNoWriMo. I'm going to be super busy. In addition to my day-to-day work, I'm also writing a freaking first draft of a novel during this time, and so I need some extra space. Letting people around you know that you're going to be slower to respond to text, or that you just need a couple days where you don't talk to them at all, that's cool. Now, I'm not talking about if you live with these people. If you live with family, whatever, obviously not talking to them for a couple days is a little wild, but still let them know so they can give you a little bit of space as you were working on creating your masterpiece. Additionally, do things in and around this time that also will help you and keep you inspired. So read other works, watch movies, take walks, all of that stuff that will help keep you inspired and enjoy your story. I suggest also creating a writing playlist. My writing playlist has been super instrumental as I'm working on this novel. It is a standalone from my series, so the world is different, and so my playlist is different, and it's been good to build it as I'm writing and discover new music, which is also in turn inspiring me even more, and listen to all the Ella Fitzgerald and burlesque songs that I need to make this novel a masterpiece. So make sure you have a writing playlist if you're somebody that enjoys or is able to write and listen to music at the same time. I also suggest having a Pinterest, if you don't, to create and get some imagery that will help you be inspired and get you in the mood. For me, when I know I'm having a day where I really don't want to write, I'll listen to my playlist, I'll surf through Pinterest a little bit, looking at the board that I've created for this novel, and it usually helps me get into the vibe of what it is I'm working on. My next tip would be do sprints. I think it's extremely important as you're doing Nano to break up your writing sessions into different sprints. That way, if you're somebody who has a full-time job, if you're somebody who has other obligations, that you're able to get the words in and you don't have to do it all in one go. Not saying you can't. If you can, go for it. I've had many a session where I've been able to just knock out, like I said, that 4,000 word count the other day. But I also have other obligations. So I will do a 25-minute sprint in the morning, 25-minute maybe at lunch, later in the day, and so on. Breaking up the word count into smaller little chunks will also help you not feel overwhelmed by the thought of how much you have to write every day, especially if you do end up taking a day or two off for some, your mental health and to get remotivated to work on your project. I would say probably my last tip, and this is pretty important, and I'm also giving you the tip as I'm telling myself this too. If you don't win NaNoWriMo, that's okay. If you don't make your word count, that's okay. If you end up getting as far as you possibly can and you come up at 40K or 30K or even less, that's okay. The goal was for you to write as much as possible, for you to write every day if you could, and just to really invest in this project that you were working on. And so if you've done that, you have won. And be kind to yourself if you don't end up winning Nano, right? If you have other writing friends who do, congratulate them, that's wonderful, and maybe you'll do it next year. Or maybe Nano might not be for you, and that's okay too. It doesn't mean that you won't finish your book, doesn't mean you won't finish your project. I wrote both books in my series, having a full-time job, having other obligations, so it's entirely possible for you to finish books, even if you're not writing every day, even if you have to put it down for a couple days, even a week. So be kind to yourself as you go along your Nano journey, as you go along in your writing journey, and keep some of these tips in mind even after you finish NaNoWriMo, because I'd say that they're evergreen. They don't just apply to Nano, but they will help you as you move through these last few days of National Novel Writing Month. If you have any tips that have helped keep you motivated, if you have any tips that have helped you with crushing your word count goal every day, and if you have any snack suggestions, let me know in the comments. I'm always down to try new snacks and new things that'll help me meet my word count goal. Like I said, be kind to yourself, be patient. If you don't write every day, that's totally okay. That does not mean that you can't finish your books. And if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye!